you feel when you get through.
What's your worst travel stories? All you guys been all over the world. What's your...
Mine's pretty good, actually. I went hunting with my grandfather. Two huge
Should we say this for the podcast? Hang on.
It is. It's rolling.
Go.
No, it's rolling. We're going.
Oh,
yeah.
My bad.
So, I went hunting with my grandfather, and after that, I went to the Grading Games that year. So I have the 2 huge knives that you use to open the deer.
Yeah.
So in Montreal, they never saw the knife in my bag. I went to the Grading Games, do the competition, and when I came back to the U.S., and at this time, my English was, I was not speaking English at this time, so came back to the airport, and the only thing I saw is like cool security guy coming at me. I'm like, what's happening here? I'm like, you gonna come with me? I'm like, all right, Dad, so stay here. I don't know what's happening. So they just bring me like in a white room with 3 guards. I'm like, yeah? He's like, yeah? I'm like, you know what is inside your bag? I'm like, yeah, my CrossFit gear. I'm like, what's happening right now? So they just start opening my bag. I'm like, what the heck I'm having? And there's a little pocket where I'm putting my knife. And when he opens, I'm like, no, wait, it's impossible. And I saw the 2 huge knife. So I'm like, oh, dang. I'm like, oh, my God. He's like, why do you have that? I'm like, hey, you might not believe me, but I had the same bag like 5 days ago, and I crossed the border in Montreal, and they were inside. So I'm like, just keep the knife. I just want to go home.
Yeah.
Like, they were like, ask me a couple of questions, like super easy. I'm like, and they were like, all right, we're gonna keep the knife, and you can go. I'm like,
All right.
oh,
There you
thanks.
go. All right.
But at the moment, I was scared. I'm like, oh my God, I thought I was in trouble.
I think Royce's worst travel story is about to happen when he has to go home and quarantine for 2 straight weeks.
Yeah.
Both of you, huh? 2 straight weeks?
Yeah, but Royce has to go to a
me, it's
hotel,
home.
right?
Yeah, I gotta be in a hotel. Everyone enters Australia, vaccinated or not, has to go into a hotel quarantine for 2 weeks, 14 days, and you cannot leave the room. Can't go in the hallway. Sometimes you get lucky, I've been told, and you get a balcony. Other times it's 4 walls and a window, maybe. So it's awful.
Even if you test positive, or negative, I'm sorry.
Yeah, irrelevant. So to even get on the plane to go back, I have to have a negative test. I have to do a negative test. I have to do a test after the games within 3 days of travel. If the test isn't negative, I can't get on the plane in the first place. And if it's negative, I get on the plane and have to lock down, have to quarantine anyway.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Oh.
In a country that has I think, I haven't followed the news recently, there's been apparently an outbreak. I think they've got 200 cases tops active in the entire country.
Well,
Maybe. I could be wrong. It's less than 1,000. I bet my life on it.
At least you don't have to pay for that yourself.
We do. It is, yep. We have to pay for it
it's
ourselves.
expensive, right?
Yeah, about $3,000.
Okay.
So, you know.
Better win an event
I was
with some
gonna
Reeboks on.
Yeah. My fault
Incentive.
for leaving the country. And
CrossFit
representing.
CrossFit total.
Yeah. I guess, in hindsight, it is my fault for, leaving Australia and representing our country on the world stage for a sport. But, no big deal. I guess I'm just being selfish.
If there was a deadlift, dang,
If there was a deadlift.
one of the events, right?
Yeah, that'd be good. I'll tell you what, following Sam's story, last time I was here, back in 2019, I guess, one of the trips, I traversed, I think it was the France trip, because I went from Australia to the US, around the US a bit, as in LAX to Nashville, then we flew to Nashville to France, back to Nashville, back to Australia, the entire time with a pair of full-size scissors in my bag. Not once did it get picked up, stopped, whatever. So airport security is a load of crap. So honestly,
I had a Rogue heavy jump rope taken out of my bag because the TSA agent said it was nunchucks.
Seriously?
Nunchucks are a deadly weapon. So one of our friends back home, he got pulled over one time for something like a brake light out or one of those routine stops, and they booked him for an unlicensed weapon because he had nunchucks in the car. Now, of all the people that ever get pulled up, this dude actually could use nunchucks to probably kill someone. He knows what he's doing, but they considered it a weapon. You have an unlicensed weapon in your car, and they booked him, and it was crazy. Nunchucks.
Well, that little tool Brian gave everybody for Christmas?
Yeah.
That little star-looking tool?
Kind of thing, yeah.
They took that from me this time. Yeah, I'm like, hey, man, it's got
a screwdriver?
screwdrivers and stuff on it. They're like, nah, we got to keep that. I have
guess you
fun with
could
that a
put it-
bunch.
Cue that South Park clip.
sucks.
I'm sorry. I thought this was America. I'm like, the plastic knife and fork they give you in the plane could kill someone better than a friggin' whatever else they confiscate off you. It's so dumb.
The frustrating thing is it's so inconsistent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It
that's what I
is-
mean.
Yeah.
You just never know what's going to happen.
You have to take your shoes off here in the States for every security check. Never in Australia. Never shoes off.
I got that TSA
The
pre-check.
shoe bomber,
Shoe
right?
bomber, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks a
you
lot.
walk through the bomb thing anyway, the little scanny thing. If
I have TSA pre-check.
Yeah.
And so you go get background done or whatever and get certified. And that's changed everything because there's no more taking your shoes off,
Yeah.
coats off. You do get through pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's a good
How much
deal.
did it cost you?
It wasn't that much. I don't know, like $75 for 5 years
Enough.
or something.
Money making.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Revenue raising.
Good story.
What did you just say?
Revenue raising.
Revenue.
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 Revenue raising.
Revenue. We are at the Alliant
my
Energy
raisin.
Center. Is that where we're at? Product of my raisin.
Revenue
Is that
raising.
where we're at?
Yeah.
Day
Yeah.
1 of the CrossFit Games in the morning.
Yep.
Swim, paddle,
Swim,
Sir.
kayak.
swim, kayak,
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 as they say in
kayak,
in Quebec.
In French, it's kayak.
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 Yeah, that's cool. I mean,
better than the prone paddle.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, very much so.
I kind of wish you guys had to get back in the water
After,
after.
That'd
That'd
be-
mess some people up. And I hate the fact that you guys get to wear fins. That's
yeah. Tell us your thoughts about that,
that's
Sam.
the lamest thing.
First, before you get started, the prone paddle was obviously one of your favorite events.
I hated that. hated it. Hated it. Ben flashed the video.
Yeah. Play the video.
Roll the tape. No, I hate that prone paddle.
Yeah,
part.
it sucks.
But
Moving on.
The kayak's all right.
Kayak's
it's better
cool.
than nothing.
Yep. Kayak's
Stand-up
cool.
paddleboard, it is what it is.
Stand-up paddleboard
We
would
did
have
a
been
version of it, but
it would have been hard in that chop, I reckon. Like no one would have gone straight.
yeah,
Kayak's much more consistent,
yeah,
but fins are no good.
No, fins sucks. Yeah.
yeah. I'm a little disappointed in.
I
is
just
the
don't
fins.
get the idea. Like, so Castro literally said the reason for fins is because otherwise it would just take people like an hour to swim a mile. Not really,
Oh,
I'm
well.
exaggerating, but some people would take a long time. Okay, well, why don't we swim a K with no fins?
Yeah.
Like why a mile with fins? That
Yeah, I
doesn't
think
make any sense. I don't
Fins
get
are
why.
too much of a crutch. I feel like.
Yeah,
We did it in 2012, but that was our
First
second
ever
swim.
ocean swim.
Second ever.
Second.
2011 was the first ever ocean swim.
They had fins in 11 too?
No.
Are you sure? Because Castro said in his speech he's thrown it
Castro's
back to
wrong.
the first ever.
Castro's wrong.
You heard it here.
Castro's wrong. 2011 was the first swim. We only swam like 250 meters, and it was probably more like 125. And then we had to do the run on the beach, and then the Murph type thing
With
It was
kettlebell-
chest to bar.
Kettlebell high pulls?
No, this was the chest to bar.
Oh, there was a rig. Yeah,
Push
that's right.
up,
Yeah.
squat, and then run another mile in soft sand. So he's actually incorrect. You heard it here. Dave's wrong.
Doesn't know anything, does he?
And then 2012, when we went to Pendleton,
Pendleton
and did the triathlon.
Infamous.
Yep. Then we got to use fins.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Like you say, like it was the second ever swim. It was the longest swim, like at the time. Well, it was like 700 meters. It
Yeah.
was like 3 times the swim from the year before.
Man,
it was
that
in
was
an
a-
ocean.
that
like
was
a like a chop and waves. Like we were talking to Lance, and he was saying like his wife's a swimmer, and like when they do ocean swims, she wears fins because it's just hard swimming against waves. But
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
This is a lake. It's like
Right.
it's close to a pool as you can get without being in a pool.
Right.
And if you're gonna test long swimming, you're testing long swimming.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. Oh, it's long, but it's too long, so we'll use fins. Or make it shorter and no fins.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Do we get a
the
pool
chaos
buoy next time? Pool buoy?
The chaos of everybody entering the water with fins is pretty comical from
No,
2012.
we start in the water though.
Yeah,
Okay,
in the
we
water.
started like 400 meters down
yeah,
the
you
beach.
guys, yeah.
We just sprint down the beach and then get in the water
And then put your fins on. Yeah,
on.
so we wade out, it's like waist deep, like half the lake. We put our fins on, and then they start us in the water, like call the siren or whatever, the buzzer.
This is going to air after this event.
I don't know.
Tomorrow,
Ben
right?
talked about maybe putting it out.
Oh, okay. So we don't want to talk strategy really then. It's kind of disappointing a little bit that
I mean,
you talked about it a little bit earlier. That
Yeah, I mean, I was pissed because, I mean, we've been working so hard on my swim for the last couple months, and my swimming game is way better than before, so I was just excited
Super good.
to test it against the other guy. Now I feel that some people who I know who they suck at swimming, they can maybe do better or just
Name them, Sam.
No, I'm not gonna name anyone, but just because of the fin, there might save some energy, and most of the injuries at their shoulder. I don't know. It just feels like it's kind of like how you say that in English, like when you have something to help you walk.
crutch.
You said it before. Crutch.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
crutch. Yeah, so
Crutch.
yeah.
I don't know. Scale.
Yep, it is.
And, yeah.
Ah,
It
well.
is
the
what it
rules. That's what we're playing with. So
Yeah.
just use them fins.
Them's the rules,
Use
yep.
the fins. You know. Then you guys have some type of sled pull or drag,
Pull, drag.
Yeah.
whatever,
Pig.
and then pig, and then muscle up, pig,
Sled again.
sled again.
That'll be
be
a
good.
one. That'll be
Yeah.
fun.
That'll be a good one for both of you guys.
All that'll be
Look
good
forward
for
to
you.
that.
How do you swim? Do you swim good?
I'm comfortable in the water. I'm not fast though. I'm not a fast swimmer. I won't be out in the top 10. I'll be middle pack, I hope.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Is there much room to make up on the kayak though?
Well, with 3 miles there is,
Yeah.
but it's you have to be way smarter because it's way harder to pass someone a kayak. When we were out practicing, it seems like it's not a speed kayak. It's like a recreational kayak, which you would just go on a date on. Is the way Tyler put it. Like so, take them out on a date. So it's hard to go really fast. You can go slow if you blow up and screw up, but you can't really send it. So you just have to be smart with picking someone off over 5-10 minutes. Not trying to send it on people.
Probably draft a little bit too.
So get close.
If you have a strong swim, you're pretty much set up for success. But you could still screw it up on the kayak.
Yeah.
I mean, just like you said, we can be slow, but I don't think anybody can be
really
super
fast. Yeah.
I mean, those kayaks are way too large to be fast, so it's yeah.
If you lead the swim, the people who lead in the swim will probably win the event. Like it's pretty hard to screw it up at that point, I would think. Especially the people who win the swim are generally pretty good. Like I can't imagine Brent, Tia, Yokoski screwing up their kayak.
Do you guys like draft when it's swimming? Is that a real deal in the water where you can get next to somebody and
especially with fins, it would be very easy to draft behind someone because they'll be making more of a wake.
Yeah.
So that'd be a very smart thing to do. Also, it just helps with spotting if you can get behind someone who can see. I'm short-sighted, so I want to get behind someone who can see.
Right. How far are the buoys spaced out? Did they say?
They didn't say. There's not a pattern for the swim. For the kayak, they're as close as they can, approximately every 500 meters for the 3 miles. But the swim, they didn't say how far, and there's
hopefully it's not just a mile buoy like they did.
They said there's definitely like 3 or 4 on the swim, and
1,000 buoy.
And then every 500 on the kayak. And there's just a straight shot in the kayak too, straight across to the boat ramp.
I like that. That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I think that's good. Turning and maneuvering on those things in a pack would be pretty awful.
I think they should make you weave each buoy.
That'd be cool.
So they're taking you to the other side of the lake. You swim there and then kayak across and finish over here. Is that the idea?
Yep.
Yeah.
Huh.
That's right. Yeah, we're on the far side, out and back on the swim. Pick up your kayak straight across to the boat ramp where we normally start the events in previous years.
I like it.
Yeah, it's cool.
Following the pull, pig flip, muscle up is the 550 run. And said no details about that yet.
Nothing. Not yet.
Nothing yet.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say. We don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I think it'll hurt. That's all I know.
Think there's a disguise in there?
Chris and I
maybe.
think it's on the runner. That'd be cool. Like put all the runner together on the side, and we run the 500 and just sprint across the finish line after that.
Sprint the 50 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool-ish. It's a good idea. I think it'd be cooler to have an actual sprint where you can see where your competitors are as you're racing.
Getting on the runner would be good for you guys, though. You're heavy.
Yeah.
I guess. Actually, no, you're right.
For a sprint,
for me, yeah.
Perfect.
I hate the runner for long runs, even though it should be better for me. It hurts me more, like, physically than a normal run.
Right.
But for a sprint, yeah, for sure. It's better for a big guy than ground. Yeah. And then event 4 is unknown. Undisclosed. But
when the
tell
team
you what,
start?
the ceremony is at 3 p.m. So it's a quick day for us. 4 events before 3 o'clock.
No, we're going to work out after that.
I think you guys are working out after.
Oh, no, that's terrible.
I think the ceremony is like...
We're going to work out after that, bro.
Yeah. Well, you'd be in the Coliseum then, surely.
Yeah.
At that point.
Don't call me Shirley.
It's supposed to be in the Coliseum.
Don't call me Shirley.
When the team start?
Thursday. We start with some version of what you guys are doing with the swim paddle, but apparently much shorter, and a relay. And then we have Big Bob push, bar muscle up, Big Bob pull,
drag,
and toes to bar.
Nice.
And that's all you know so far?
That's all we know.
The 4th event is unreleased.
It's going to be a hot one tomorrow,
Could be a version of what we're doing, too.
Yeah.
How do you guys handle kind of like, I call it purgatory, that time between when you know you're done sort of working out, you're fit, you're kind of done with that, and then 3, 2, 1, go. What goes on? I know, Rich, you just work out. You just keep going.
Yeah,
you know?
I feel better when I move every day. I mean, we worked out this morning. Nothing crazy. It just keeps me busy and keeps me from I hate just sitting around here. And I want to actually, I wish it was Monday,
Yeah.
Truthfully. But it is what it is. I want to get going.
Yeah, agreed. I think if you don't do anything, you almost like forget what it's like to hurt a little bit. But I mean, it depends. Like for the individual, we've had stuff on every day. Like we got here on Sunday, we had a bit of an adventure on the plane. Then Monday was like registration, checking in, COVID testing. Then we had the dinner. They released an event today. We did the practice and other kind of thing out on the water.
Right.
Then we went and did some sponsor stuff, like saw some vendors. Just hang out here with the crew. Like you stay busy, and then I think you switch that like mindset to like, okay, it's happening. Like you don't want to get psyched up too early.
Yeah.
You want to be fired up to go on Monday when you don't start till Wednesday.
Right.
Like that's exhausting.
Yeah, 100%.
You're right. I agree.
How you handle that?
Kind of like Royce. Yeah. I mean, we've been busy for the last 3 days, but now, like everyone is checking, everything is done. I'm starting to get a little bit nervous and it's getting real now. Like, all right, 12 hours, it's on.
But good nerves, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that's
It's a good one. It's like a good stress, good nervosity. I'm like, all right, it's time now.
Yeah.
Almost go time. Finally. Yeah.
Nothing hurts.
Nothing
Kind of
hurts.
nice.
Yeah.
Feels weird.
yeah.
Kind of like should be something should hurt right now.
Should have another session or two to do.
Yeah. Am I alive still? You know, like
Yeah.
nothing hurts too bad. You're like, wait a minute.
What's the whoop say? You all right?
I haven't checked the whip all day actually.
This train is so low right now.
Yeah,
I know.
I've got 2 12s back. That's still pretty high. I feel like a 12.
Yeah,
what
actually. Yeah.
I'm 9 for today.
Didn't you say-
I was 12 yesterday at 9
12.
today.
Royce, didn't you say your strain was really high just after checking in, or what was it?
Yeah, yesterday my strain was 14. We did nothing. I'm at 10 right now. We did like nothing yesterday. I know. It just updated 13.
Yeah.
Oh.
That is pretty high.
No.
Your heart beats fast.
You're also a giant human being.
That's
so
true. Yeah, that is true.
It just takes a lot of work to
get up in the
around,
morning.
You know? What's Haley at? Let's see.
Let's check Haley.
Haley's probably at 17.
I bet you she went for a run today or something.
14.8.
That's conservative for her.
Yeah. It's pretty good for her.
Tasia over this past few months has been the calmest I've ever seen her. And I have spent
She's not competing, you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've spent a lot of time with her, you know, and I haven't seen those wide eyes from her in a while. And today I was coming out of the stadium.
Stressed a little bit.
Oh, yeah, she came running past, and she's, hi, Jim. I'm like, whoa, calm down. What's going on, you know?
Yeah.
Just getting stuff done for
Sympathy
Haley.
nerves from Haley, probably.
Haley's mom.
Yeah, it's good. Those
Yeah.
two are awesome together, man.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
They make a good team.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. I mean, I guess they do. I guess. They could probably do. They probably need a little bit more calming energy in there. I reckon. Would probably do them both a bit of service.
Tasia gets everything Haley needs. She does weights on her hand and foot, so Tasia does a great job. Better than I would, that's for sure.
Actually, Haley was
good.
pretty calm in the water, don't you think? She
Oh yeah,
seemed-
but that's where she. I mean, that
Yeah.
that event for her is a.
yeah, she seemed very like chilled out.
Yeah.
I mean, all the events are good for Haley so far. Like,
Yeah.
I guess the only thing she might be worried about is the pig, but it's going to be hard for everyone.
Yeah.
There's no one, and even if it's light, like I consider it super heavy,
And it's a
but
different
man, it's super
pig,
gassy
too.
for me.
It's
Like,
a different pig too.
yeah,
Than what we're used to.
that's what we've been training
Which
with. like-
everybody, yeah.
but no one's gonna. Like if it's light, it's gassy, and then you still got 42 muscle ups. If
Yeah.
it's heavy, you're probably the kind of person who's looking forward to the 42 muscle ups.
Right.
So it'll be a good event for Haley, I think. She's got nothing to worry about with what's been announced so far.
Yeah. Got that run. She'll do well in the run because she can sprint pretty well, actually, too. As good as she is at endurance
Yeah,
stuff. She
I
can
was
still
very
sprint pretty well.
surprised how fast
That's
she
gonna
was
be
in
a good event for
2019.
her.
Yeah.
She really showed off there. Like
So
Henshaw said, it's not fair. Like you're not supposed to be good at both.
yeah,
Like Dre in 18, same thing.
Yeah, same thing. So that's pretty much all we know for tomorrow.
Yeah,
We probably won't disclose too much for the next day because we'll probably talk about it tomorrow at some point.
yeah.
I think, is there anything else really? It's pretty just calm before the storm, I feel like. It's supposed to be hot tomorrow.
Yeah.
Plenty of fluids.
It was pretty hot today.
It was hot today,
Not
but I'm
today.
saying today and
think there's
tomorrow
huge
are the
wind.
hottest days, and then I think it's supposed to cool off come Thursday.
The heat will only really get us in that pig workout. Like the water workout, we're in the water.
Yeah.
The
I don't know.
sprint is so short.
That kayak, you might bake a little bit.
So Khan and James put up like their post of like them testing workout, whatever, and Khan was like, all I'll say is you better get some sunscreen on. Like,
yeah.
And I
went over
agree.
and-
Like you're gonna be roasting
I
for
would-
about an hour.
I would
Yeah.
put something to drink to in that kayak if you can. Set up
Yeah.
a kayak before, throw a
You
gator.
can't. It's first thing, best dressed, and the judges like feed it out. But I wonder if
it's
you could
pretty easy to just take water with your hand and just chew it to your face.
Yeah.
drink that Madison water.
No,
Is that
do
what you're saying?
not,
just,
Yeah,
do
don't do
not
that.
drink that water.
just to chew it to your face and
I wonder if
Yeah,
there's like
you
a
could-
stage
Cool off
you
a
could
little bit.
just throw something. I don't know.
You could probably stick some goo in your
Goo, yeah,
like
in
the
your
you know,
jammers,
like the
yeah.
gel into your jammers. We should get some
Jammers. What does that
Yeah.
translate?
Swim jammers.
Swim
swim
trunks?
jammers. Yeah, yeah.
Jammers.
It's
Jammers.
Speedo.
Not pajamas.
So
I went over and watched some of the Masters athletes today. At the finish, the 4-mile run, and it was
Grueling?
It was humid more so than I thought.
Yeah.
There were 3 dudes like in the 45-year-old division that came. Ron Ortiz, big Ron, I love you, Ron, but just came stumbling, like couldn't stay on their feet. Like you watch those shows where the
Oh yeah.
people finish the marathon.
Been
and
there.
yeah.
There was 3 of those.
Yeah,
Three of
yeah.
those guys.
I guess like in if you take it to the wire, like any run distance can be hard if you pace it properly. Like if you're pushing hard,
Right.
like you watch the Olympians, like
Or if you didn't pace it properly.
Right.
you know, if you didn't pace it properly, yeah, that could also happen. Like I mean, even the 1500 meter in the Olympics, like when they cross the finish line, they just fall down. They can
Yeah,
barely
that's
stay
it.
up. You know, like that's a
100%
short run
it.
by track standards, and they send it though. But
I was actually watching. I don't know what popped up on my YouTube. It was this event, so it's a mile,
yeah,
but it starts out with like 6 or 7 guys, and they run, and every lap, whoever's in last gets kicked out.
oh, I think
Oh,
I've heard
wow.
about this.
I
So
like
there's a
this.
little bit of like gamesmanship to it.
Okay.
Yeah, because you
But
can't
it
go out.
sounds like hell to me.
You can't be last.
You
initially,
can't be last.
But then you also got to play the
you
game.
don't wanna
It
be
was like-
first.
It was.
You don't want to be first.
The 2 Australians actually won it, the one I was watching, but it was actually, I was like, this is kind of fun to watch because you're
Yeah.
like, oh,
Who's
what do
gonna
you-
be? The perfect game is to come out 5th and then just
Yeah.
hunt everyone down one lap at a time.
That's basically what the one guy that got second did.
Yep.
He kind of stayed to the back, but was close enough, saved enough that he could run up,
Yep.
caught the last guy, did it again, and then he couldn't catch then they were still all in a pack, but
Yeah.
that last lap, they're just full on sending it, and it looked so freaking painful.
And then what? And the guy who won it just led from the start, like just crashed.
He
or-
didn't really lead from the start. I'd have to pull the video back up because it was pretty funny, but it looked miserable.
Yeah, that's. I wouldn't mind doing that with like ski erg or something, but
Do it
not
with like
running.
a 225
idea.
snatch. Whoever misses is out. When you miss,
It's
you're out.
like, I
You
was
just
joking,
keep going,
actually.
like 4 or 5 guys.
I was
That would actually
joking
be kinda fun.
with the boys at the dinner last night. It'll be like a game of like what's the one with basketball? Knockout.
Knockout,
yeah.
Like with a snatch ladder.
So
if you could run around someone and snatch the weight in front of them, you knock them out.
So we did it where you started out with 10 reps at 115.
Yep.
And had 4 of
Oh,
us.
I've seen this video.
Yes, or
Yeah.
5 of us, however many it was.
That was cool.
And whoever, it was next, you had to do your 10, 10, 10. It came back to me, 11, 11, 11. And then who couldn't make it was out. I think it was me, Angelo, Nick, Darren.
But it was like every 3 rounds you upped it by 10 pounds.
Yeah, was that the way we did
Yeah,
it? I couldn't
I
remember.
think you
Okay.
up the weight every couple of rounds, and then when
went down
someone
in a couple reps, I think.
That's
each time.
right. And then when someone dropped out, that was less rest.
Yeah,
So it got
yeah.
harder all of a
Yep,
sudden.
yep,
so
that's what it was.
once the first person cracked, everyone started
Everybody was
dropping.
falling, yeah. Yep, that's what it
Yeah,
was.
didn't Angelo come out and then he came back into someone?
I
or
don't
something?
remember.
He
We need
came-
to look it up.
He
'cause it
dealt
was
himself
pretty
back
funny.
in.
Yeah, it was a knockout.
Yeah, that's cool. But
Anything else? Just quickish podcast for the week.
I don't know, man. I'm excited. It's gonna be
Excited?
good.
Yeah,
You guys
We
all
can
excited
tell-
to actually
oh,
watch tomorrow.
fit.
'cause I don't really have to do anything.
Yeah.
could tell our little travel story, our little flight story.
Yep.
Speaking of bad flights, we flew out of Nashville. What was the time? 5:50 or something.
The flight was at 5:45.
The flight was at 5:45. It didn't take off till 6:30 because of weather, storms. So then we're in the plane and we're like doing all this math because the time zone changes when we get to Atlanta, and we're trying to figure it out. And we're like, okay, we're going to land like pretty much at 9 p.m. Our flight leaves at 9:15 out of Atlanta, and we're like, Sam's like, we could drive tonight. I don't mind if we drive. And Jake's like, no, Sam, you don't understand. We've flown backwards to Atlanta.
I didn't know
South. The drive 10 from it, we've just gone from an 8-hour drive to a 15-hour drive. Like,
Yep.
if we don't get this plane, we're screwed. And the next flight was not till the next morning. And Jake's looking on his phone, he's getting like the options, and it's like not till next morning. And we're like, oh man, we're into Madison in the morning. We have to like race to like get COVID tested. It was like, we're stressing. We're like, you know what? Let's just try and run it. Let's try and run it. The plane's like taxiing it at 9.
We had 6 minutes.
We're like getting up, we're getting ready. Like all the other people are having the same idea as us. But we're like, we're not going to be polite. We're sorry. Like we're going for it. We just charge, like cut people off in the aisle. Like
we
sit
were
down.
sprinting.
We
the
were
airport.
sprinting. And it's Atlanta
Like-
Airport's huge airport. So we sprint. We landed in like gate A23. So we had to sprint the length of A pretty much, get downstairs, and we get to the shuttle. And Jake's like asked one of the like flight attendants, like who are traveling between planes, hey, where's C or whatever. It's like, this shuttle's going to be here in about 15 seconds. It's 2 stops down. Jake's like, could we run it faster? And she's like, not 2 stops. No, it'll be here soon. So we get on the thing. It would have been impossible to outrun the shuttle. And we get off at C. We're at C33. We just sprint. And behind us, we hear a bunch of people screaming, run, start running, because they're all late for the same flight. We're like running up this escalator. I nearly passed out in the escalator because I started to lose.
That was a hard
I started to
run.
lose all orientation. Like, I didn't know if I was running up or down.
I actually
out.
walked up an escalator and messed me up.
When you sit down for 2 hours and you sprint. I mean, my legs were. I mean, my
lungs.
I remember when we sit, I was like, my leg was pumping. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, we're climbing these stairs, and I'm like, will this escalator ever end? Like, my quads are pumped. I'm like, I'm not ready for the games. I'm not even fit. We run in there, we sprint, and the dude at the gate is like not impressed. As we sprint in, he's like, scan your thing, see if it works. So we're like, scan it, scream. We're like, we're in. We run in there, we sit down. Everyone on the plane's like pissed that they have to wait for us. And then like there must have been so many of us to make that flight. They ended up holding it. Like the plane just sat there for another 15 minutes. Yeah. And so all our luggage made it too. We're like, yes, because we're like, we'll live with what we have on us. We'll get the luggage. Jake will come back and get the luggage tomorrow. It all made it. It was all sweet. And like it was, I mean, they might have held the plane anyway, but I think they only held it because so many of us made the run and kept getting on, and they had to hold it. So I think it was worth it. But that was a scary prospect when we were like,
what was your strain from that one event? Did you go back and?
I think I broke the whoop. No, I didn't. I should go back and log that. But that was pretty cool. So we got into Madison at like 12 a.m., 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Sam's worked through some mindset stuff, and he texted me this morning, and I thought we were gonna talk some mindset stuff. He just wanted me to bring him a pair of underwear.
I forgot it.
That's a success mindset.
So that's what happened.
Yep.
I looked at him. What? Bring underwear?
I remember before I left, he said, "Hey, if you need anything, text me." I'm like, "All right, Joe, I need underwear now."
He was talking about deeper stuff,
about,
life and whatever.
Some help,
underwear.
Underwear. So I've done my job.
That's life. Underwear is life.
Did you get those, by the way? I gave them to Jake to give to you. I felt like
they're right there.
No, you're wearing them. All right.
Sam and I had a bit of a cultural swap, actually, because at the dinner, we're sitting with all the Aussie athletes, and we're all just talking and probably talking a bunch of slang and all these inside jokes, and Sam just politely nodding, and Bailey's sitting there all nervous, doesn't know what to do. And then every now and then we'd talk about something that Sam was keen on, I don't know, the fins would come up, and Sam would be like, oh, yeah, and fins. Get into the, exactly. And then today I got the reverse treatment. We're sitting on the bus, and it's Adler, Karan, Vigno, and they're going hard out French. I couldn't even tell when one word finishes, the next word starts. I don't know French, obviously, but I was like, are they saying, what are they saying? And then he starts pointing at me, and I'm like, what are they saying about me? He was talking about how I have to do the two-week quarantine. Because actually at one point I recognized what Sam was saying because I'd heard the story so many times. I heard the word Burlington.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is Sam's story about how he's going to get back into Canada. So it was funny, but I got the treatment of not knowing what the heck everyone's talking about.
Is it hard for you guys when you kind of get to compete time, and you're all nice people, but does that whole thing sort of change when you're just not as friendly and you're ready to go and you're ready to compete?
It depends, probably. These guys may be a little bit different because they've been training together, and I mean, I'm
good with Royce.
Yeah, me and Sam, that's not something.
Yesterday in the warm-up area, I didn't talk to anybody. I was in my mind, in my zone, was just doing my workout with him. And I mean, we've been doing what Mayhem's doing, an hour. We did 4 workouts in one piece of lifting. So we've been working out, and I don't know, I didn't talk to anybody. And today was, in the bus was more friendly. So
it's
a little bit different.
Yeah.
The bus always alleviates nerves. I think it's I talked about this with someone else at the semifinal too. I think you just got to play to your strength of personality. I'm a talker, and when I'm nervous, I talk. So when I'm in the warm-up area, I'm talking to anyone who'll listen and having a yarn and bantering with guys I know. If you're more stoic, Sam's just not that. He's just a bit more of a quiet, reserved guy. Play to that strength. You don't have to talk to anyone. You don't have to be friendly. We're here to do a job. Don't try and be talky if you're not a talky person because it'll stress you out.
Yeah.
Don't try and not talk if you are a talky person because it'll probably stress you out. Just play to your personality.
Yeah.
And if my talking a lot psychs someone out, good.
Yeah.
Stop talking to me.
But that guy, shut up, man.
Just keep following Sam around behind him. Sam, what are you doing? How are you breaking this up?
Yeah.
Is it different for you from when you were an individual to on the teams?
Yeah, I mean, with the team, you've got your crew that you're kind of talking to.
Yeah.
So you got people with you at all times. When I was an individual, I mean, there towards the end, I'd become good friends with different guys, like Josh especially, Dan, Maliolo, Spencer, Hendel. And so it's different when you've been here a couple of years. You kind of have this crew, but it would have been nice to have, what we have here now, where it's like you've got a couple different athletes across different divisions, I guess. You've got a couple girls, so Bailey's and Haley, who've been with us, and so it helps, if people are in different heats too, where it's like, hey, what did you learn? If you're that friendly to where you're like, I remember Hobart telling me, because we trained a ton together before 14, and so I remember when he told me about the 21:59 couplet, he was like, go faster than you think you need to. And so that was a workout I might have paced out a little bit, and I was like, all right, let's do this. And so something like that, and it helps having that. You got a lot of experience in this camp, so that's huge.
Yeah. You guys, it seemed like kind of training back in Tennessee before coming here, it was really fun for you guys
We had a
because there was
blast.
a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of fun.
It's definitely like a family here. Like you want everyone to be. You almost want their success as much, if not more, than your own. So like, there's definitely like camaraderie and like cooperation, like in our camp. But then it, for better or for worse, it almost like makes it a bit more tribal. You kind of like, no, this is our family. Like screw everyone else. Like I hope they all lose.
Yeah.
And like Rich says, like there's people I remember from 18 who I'm good friends with, and then all the Aussies from back home. Like so when you know the people, it's a good. But it's like Scott said something interesting to me on the bus actually. Panchik, he's like in previous years he never would have talked to anyone because it's like the phrase he used was like from football, it's a lot easier to hit a guy you don't like.
Yeah.
You don't want to know they're a good bloke and then they're awesome.
Right.
It's like, I don't feel bad beating them. So there's a little bit of that too. But I think CrossFit has like incredible camaraderie compared to any other sport.
Yeah.
Because in a way you kind of know that like you're not. Yes, of course you're racing other people, but you can only do what you can do, and if they're better than you, they're just better. Like, it's like a game of football where you can interfere with them.
Right,
like,
for sure.
You are trying to play the game and get it. It doesn't matter how many points you score in football, just you have to have more than them.
Right.
In CrossFit, you still got to beat the workout, first of all, like beat the time cap, and then second, try and get your best performance and hope it's good enough. Like, it's not the same kind of competitiveness. Like, you don't want to win because everyone else fell over.
Right.
Right? There's no satisfaction in that victory. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't feel good about it. Like, you want to beat them on.
However,
you want to beat them on their best day. That's how I feel anyway, right?
And there's no physical contact.
Correct.
Like in some other sports where you're,
For now.
Well, I mean,
On the swim, let's go.
I was gonna say.
there's
I
a
have
little bit
seen-
of gamesmanship to it, though. Like, you can get in people's head and mess with people. And,
100%.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
there
yeah.
is a little bit of that. Like, so the people that you might not be as close to, you might want to mess with a little bit more.
That's right. Yeah.
I have seen you at Wadapalooza come off the skier pretty close to last place on one of those events and swim over the
I
top.
swam over,
right over the
through,
top of
and-
everybody. Over the top.
Yep.
Yeah, so there
It's
was
the
some
fastest
physical
line.
contact. Yeah.
The fastest
And
line,
look, I honestly, I think that is 100% appropriate because if you're not a good swimmer and you get in front of someone and you're hogging the best lane, like you're inviting it. Like you are getting in the way, son. Like you need to move if you're not a good swimmer. Like don't you're there in the wrong place and you know they're trying to beat you. Like it's not. On the floor, it's different. You have your own lane. They can't get in front of you. Take as slow as you want.
Right.
If you're trying to take the best line and you're not the fastest, you got to get someone
out.
Like get out of it. Like I'm not going to go to
defend
your
it.
pace.
Yeah. Or defend it.
because I have no responsibility to do your pace in the workout. If I'm going to do my pace, if you're in my way, I mean, who's in the wrong really? Like we both have equal right to this line, to the buoy. You know.
Is that Brian that just came by?
That show was free.
Yeah.
That part of the show was free.
Sponsored by Mayhem Missions.
All right. Do we have any ad reads? We got Whoop. We talked Whoop on here, actually. We talked scores.
Some Whoop scores.
Whoop scores, Whoop strains.
So Whoop's doing a cool thing. I don't know if the people at home know this. They'll probably announce it soon where they're going to put, for 3 of the events, they said, they're going to give us like this special Whoop that only does heart rate. And they're going to broadcast everyone's heart rates live on the screen, so you can see everyone. You can see what part of the workout is like hard for people and what parts are easy and that kind of thing. So that'd be pretty cool.
Or when you die.
And when you die, when it goes
you're
What point
Right.
do you die?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Come find us here at the Alliance Center at some point. Peace.